Jason Voorhees is a horror icon from the 1980s Friday the 13th movies. These movies have had many sequels, a spin-off, a remake, comic books, popular video games, and much more. The story of these movies begins at Camp Crystal Lake. Where is this camp located? Nowhere. It's fictional. But where was the first Friday the 13th movie filmed? The answer is actually in the state of New Jersey. More specifically, the towns of Hope and Blairstown, only about a 2-hour drive from New York City. In early October of 2017, I visited these towns. So today, I'll give you a guide to visiting based on my own visit there. I took Route 80 to exit 12, but I went to the town of Hope first. I drove south on Hope Blairstown Road until I reached the corner of High Street. I then noticed this antique store called Hope Junction Antiques. This is the space used in the movie as the luncheonette or convenience store that Annie stopped in and asked for a ride. The lady working at the store is very kind and told me a lot of Friday the 13th fans stop in here, but she personally has never seen the movie because it's not her type. I respect that. Now as you leave that store and look east, you'll see Bergdorf Real Estate. In front of this store is the space where Crazy Ralph tried to warn Annie she was doomed. The basic map in the movie of how to get from one of these locations to another does not reflect reality. Also, notice as Annie gets in the truck, the door says Stanhope, New Jersey. So the filmmaker's not hiding the fact that it was filmed in Jersey, they're just not saying it in the dialogue either. I was about to walk west on High Street, but before getting past the corner of Hope Blairstown Road, I stopped in a store called the Toy Chest. Although this location was not used in the movie, if you're a Friday the 13th fan, then there's a good chance you'll want to stop inside here. They have Friday the 13th toys, as well as all kinds of other toys fun for adults who collect, not to mention unique toys that would be great for little children. I continued walking on High Street for about 2 blocks. The church you see there is called St. John's United Methodist Church, and just past that church is the cemetery scene in the movie. The truck is actually heading from the wrong direction and coming back into town, but once again, directions in movies almost never reflect reality. Now you can walk around the inside of the cemetery if you choose to. Note that at this corner, High Street changes its name to Delaware Road. At that point I left the town of Hope. To get to Blairstown, I drove about 7 miles north on Hope Blairstown Road, which at one point changed its name to just Hope Road. At the end you reach a T intersection where Hope Road crosses State Route 94. The sign does not mention Blairstown, but you'll want to turn left. Very soon after making that left, you'll see some Blairstown signs. And in less than 1 minute, you'll see the Blairstown Diner on the left side of the road. This is where Steve Christie ate his last meal in the movie. Both the exterior and the interior of this diner were used in the movie. If you look closely at the scene, you can see the name Blairstown Diner written in a few places. There have been some renovations to this diner over the years, but it's still the same restaurant at the same location and owned by the same person. They also sell Blairstown Diner t-shirts, which on the back say Friday the 13th and show a Jason hockey mask. I should also mention this diner makes good food and has friendly people working there. If you make a trip to this town, you'll likely want to eat somewhere, so I'd suggest you eat here to add to your Friday the 13th experience. After eating at the diner, I drove 2 blocks to historic Main Street. This is a distance which you could easily walk, but you can't just leave your car in the diner's parking lot and walk away. When you get to Main Street, it's got a lot of old houses and small buildings which I found very nice to look at. You'll see the bridge that Annie crossed in the movie, the stores in the background have changed, and if you turn right around, you'll see this gorgeous waterfall. I'm not sure if this had already been built at the time the movie was shot. And on Main Street, you'll also see this building called the Old Mill, which Annie walked through. Now, the movie didn't make this clear, but that old bridge really is right next to that old mill. If you walk continuously past the bridge, you really will go straight through the mill. Now, as I show this wide shot of Main Street from a different angle, please look at that blue building in the back. That was seen in the movie, although it was a red building when the movie was filmed. Once again, the geography of where these buildings appeared to be located in connection to one another in the movie has no reflection of reality. The building is now called Roy's Hall. It serves mainly as a music venue, but it also has occasional screenings of movies. And guess what movie they screened on Friday, October 13th? Now this building which Annie walked by is now called the Blairstown Museum. This museum just opened in 2015. It was closed when I was there, but as I looked through the window, it appeared the museum was about 99% dedicated to Friday the 13th. I do realize these are not great photos, and I apologize. This was the best I could do with my camera while looking through glass. And directly across the street from the museum is a bar called Post Time Pub. They did have a party with some kind of connection to the movie Friday the 13th. I don't know the details of this party. Now from Main Street, it's about a 9-mile/20-minute drive to Camp No-Be-Bo-Sco, the filming location for Camp Crystal Lake. Keep in mind that you're not allowed inside the camp, so it's your call if you want to take this drive just to see the outside of the camp. If you do choose to go, then the address to type into your GPS is 11 Sand Pond Road, Blairstown, New Jersey. Personally, I did do the drive. After not too long, I passed by this lake and farm seen in the movie. Again, in the movie they were actually driving away from camp and to town. Movie locations don't reflect reality. There are now trees that have grown around the lake, so you no longer get a good view. But I did go slightly up a different road to get this shot of the barn and silo from a different angle. You can also see a cornfield. As you drive further towards the camp, you really feel like you're getting into the woods. There are a lot of wrong turns you can easily make. I'd say it's very easy to get lost if you don't have a GPS guiding you. And when you finally reach the camp, you see this old Camp No-Be-Bo-Sco sign right next to the gate. There are strict no trespassing signs, so this is as far as you can go. You might be looking at these pictures and thinking you can walk around the gate and sneak in. Technically, you may be right, but think about how foolish you'd be to go for a long walk while leaving your car right next to a no trespassing sign. And if you're trying to come up with loophole ideas like parking your car somewhere a mile or so down the road and hiking, I'll let you know that the road here is very narrow, so you really can't leave your car parked on the side of the road anywhere. And that's basically it. That's my guide and advice for going to see the filming locations of Friday the 13th. So I'd like to know, did you find this video helpful? Or do you know of other places I should have mentioned? Please leave it all in the comments below. And as an unconnected side note, I'll let you know that once you get back to Route 80, however long that takes you, from there it took me only 12 minutes to get to Frazetta's costume store, which is one of my favorite stores I've ever been to in my life. It's run by the son of legendary fantasy artist Frank Frazetta. If you're a Friday the 13th fan visiting the area, I'd highly recommend visiting this store as well. I already made a video about this store, so please click this link and watch the video to see what makes this store such a special place to me. And please feel free to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.